Why should I trust you? You're always tricking me into going places I don't wanna. Oh, you said we were going to a place Walt Disney built.
No, Peter, I said supported.
What an idiot I've been as a young person in this industry who has no filter and no idea what she's doing.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, I don't need your business.
I did not like Snow White. The reason why is that the actress that plays Snow White, she acts like a bitch all the time.
Weird.
Weird.
I don't need your business.
I say, if I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed on.
And everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
I don't need your business. Thanks.
Hollywood must feel like it woke up from a 3-year bender, only to discover that its grand feminist master plan is being shoved into the nearest trash chute by the very audience it swornly swore would adore it, because the live-action Snow White finally limped into cinemas on the spring equinox of the year 2025, and promptly looked around for the nearest fainting couch when ticket sales belly-flopped harder than a toddler at a hotel pool.
So much fun it should be illegal. By copyright infringement. Ho-ho! See you at the game, Joel! Ho-ho!
Rumor has it that within a single humiliating fortnight, whispers crawled through fan forums claiming AMC quietly yoinked showtimes after matinees began resembling private screenings for stray popcorn kernels, which is corporate code for pull the plug before memes fossilize this disaster forever. Meanwhile, Disney's accountants allegedly tried to smother their sobs with souvenir apples, while muttering that a theatrical faceplant is simply an exciting pathway to increased streaming potential. Enter Rachel Zegler, the self-declared savior of a story she keeps calling sexist, irrelevant, and super creepy.
Look at me, sure. Look at me, sure.
I am the Snow White now.
Words that might carry more weight if she were not cashing princess-sized checks signed by the same studio that built its empire on that creepy cartoon. Months before the premiere, she strutted down every red carpet livestream, insisting the original plot was weird, 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 as though Walt himself had asked a stalker to kiss a coma patient in full IMAX. That performative eye roll didn't land well with nostalgic fans who remember Snow White as animation's ground zero. Telling diehards that their childhood magic is garbage is like climbing into grandma's kitchen and spitting straight into the apple pie, then demanding seconds.
This is not Snow White, but this is the movie that they made. And it's like, oh yeah, she's gonna be a girl boss, she's gonna liberate her kingdom. Well, congratulations, you played yourself. This is what you get when you try to push feminism and bullshit girl boss moves on the people.
It takes Olympic-level hubris to torch the film that made your job exist in the first place, and Rachel set the flames with a grin, practically daring critics to roast marshmallows over Disney's crumbling goodwill Teen Vogue. Speaking of goodwill, Disney's marketing brain trust tried rewriting the Seven Dwarfs right out of the picture because nothing screams inclusivity like erasing the very characters whose existence created a rare shot at mainstream dwarfism representation. Their bright solution was to replace the cheerful miners with an awkward squad of magical creatures that looked like a casting call for a discount Lord of the Rings prequel nobody asked for.
This is no ordinary apple, my dear. It's a magic wishing apple.
A wishing apple?
You offer it to me freely. In place of the patriarchy, you would have a queen! Not white, but diverse, inclusive, and equitable! I will become the leader I know I can be! All shall love me and despair!
Oh, what has she done to you? Fear not, first love's kiss can break any curse.
Peter Dinklage's loud critique about stereotypes apparently spooked the studio so badly it detonated the entire subplot. Yet somehow the backlash doubled. Dwarf activists felt sidelined, traditionalists felt robbed, and casual viewers felt confused that Snow White now hangs out with a random budget cosplay ensemble Screen Rant. While all that brand therapy was unfolding, Family Guy strolled onto network television and, in under 30 seconds, delivered the kind of bare-knuckle satire a billion-dollar PR department would charge a fortune to bury. A roller coaster car labeled Disney stock plummeting in flames, broken animatronic princesses flickering under a neon sign that reads, "Wokeland? Chef's kiss." Nothing exposes corporate nakedness faster than Peter Griffin cackling at it.
She is crapping on the original production. I was scared of it. Oh, it was so weird. It was a stalker. Like, I feel like if you are taking on the most iconic Disney role ever, genuinely, like this was the most prolific Disney film, I feel like you should kind of have some sort of reverence.
In primetime, and viewers everywhere tossed popcorn at their screens in applause. Disney executives, who prefer their medicine sugar-coated, suddenly faced an audience discovering that fart joke cartoons can still speak harsher truth than glossy press releases. But wait. Just when you assume the fiasco reached maximum messiness, along came the rumor that multiple AMC locations nixed Snow White showings after the second weekend because attendance dipped below maintenance crew doing night checks. No press announcement, no ceremonious curtain call, just listings vanished like dwarfs in witness protection. Online sleuths posted screenshots of schedule gaps and gleefully declared the first princess casualty of the modern go woke, go broke. Thesis Land of Geek. Whether the chain truly yanked the film nationwide or merely shuffled it to broom closet time slots almost doesn't matter.
Disney, despite losing over $1 billion on their last 4 movies, as they continue to shove woke politics into people's faces who just want to go to the movie, laugh, cry, and go home. Look, people don't want to be lectured when they're watching a movie, and they certainly don't want to be told that they're bad people. But that's what Disney continues to do.
I love what you said about wanting to entertain audiences, critics saying Disney's too woke, but you're just putting out storytelling.
We are. Look, I don't really like the term woke because I think it's an umbrella term that I'm not 100% sure I even know what it means, and one could argue that sometimes it's used too liberally. That said, our primary purpose is to entertain, and where we can entertain responsibly, obviously we try to do that. We try to have a positive impact on the world, but the first thing we need to do is entertain.
The perception that theaters themselves lost patience became the punchline. Viewers love a good train wreck, and Disney kindly derailed yet another locomotive in front of everyone's smartphone cameras. Somehow through this carnival of self-ownage, the House of Mouse maintained the straight-faced mantra that Snow White was always intended to be a bold reimagining for empowered 21st century audiences. Translation, they bet the castle that fans would applaud being lectured about how outdated dwarfs, kisses, and happy endings are. Instead, comment sections exploded with side-by-side images comparing the glowing Technicolor charm of 1937 to the dreary color-graded gloom of 2025. One viral meme featured the original princess singing too, bluebirds, while the new one glared at a CGI crabapple captioned, "From fairy tale to despair tale." If you are chuckling right now, tap that like button faster than Disney can order another reshoot. This channel survives on your schadenfreude, unlike certain studio stock prices.
This is their policies coming back to bite them. They went woke.
Yeah.
She went out and said stuff woke that was going to hurt the film. They couldn't come out and go against her because then you're going after somebody for saying what you say you believe.
Of course, Disney insists the box office nosedive is merely a stepping stone en route to a triumphant Disney Plus streaming debut later this summer. Sure, why sweat theatrical humiliation when you can quietly recoup losses behind a paywall and pretend the whole fiasco was a savvy pivot toward digital strategy? Yet even investors are beginning to twitch. Pundits note the cartoon juggernaut once relied on evergreen classics to print money. Now those same classics feel like the studio's own ball and chain. Snow White's delayed release already cost an extra year of marketing oxygen Disney dining, and the final product still crawled out of post-production looking exhausted.
Yeah, the entire film's about a love story. It's about a love story because that's what the point of the film is, and I'm sorry that chivalry and a man pursuing you is now deemed as stalking, which now it's kind of making sense why men are opting out of the dating scene.
Imagine spending hundreds of millions only to watch your remake trend on social media next to hashtags comparing it to a MySpace fan film. Rachel herself remains unbothered, or so her publicists keep tweeting. Every time a microphone appears, she doubles down, reaffirming how thrilled she is to modernize a story she despises. One interviewer asked if she worried about alienating legacy fans. She shrugged and reminded everyone that women do not need princes and certainly do not need dwarfs mining anything on their behalf. That answer might earn applause in certain lecture halls, but moviegoers apparently prefer a hero's journey over a lecture tour. Meanwhile, Gal Gadot, who gamely chews scenery as the evil queen, has reportedly perfected the 1,000-yard stare of an actor who realizes her press tour is less about glamorous gowns and more about apologizing for the entire film's existence.
This girl took the money and then decided that she wanted to go out there and, you know what, I'm going to take my stand. Well, you should have made that stand before you took the money to promote a film, because that's not in line with your job description.
Some defenders argue the backlash is just conservative rage bait, ignoring the multicultural casting of a princess as white as snow. True, bigots troll anything that moves, but many critics share progressive bona fides and still agree the remakes. Biggest crime is storytelling incompetence, masquerading as empowerment. After all, representation should add layers, not strip away heart. Replacing dwarfs with generic forest roommates and swapping romance for corporate-approved leadership workshops creates a story neither old fans nor new audiences asked for. It is like remastering Beethoven's Fifth into a kazoo quartet, then wondering why ticket buyers revolt. Still here? Excellent, because the third act chaos gets even juicier. Internal leaks claim the visual effects budget ballooned when executives demanded last-minute, make-it-more magical tweaks, leading to reshoots, rewrites, and late-night green screen sessions that left cast and crew in caffeinated freefall. Rumor also suggests at least one test screening ended with polite golf claps and a stampede for the exit, prompting frantic re-edits that only confuse the plot further. No wonder theaters may have tossed the film before the popcorn had time to congeal. By now, Disney's legendary brand discipline resembles a melted Mickey bar sliding down Main Street. So where does the fairy tale formerly known as Snow White go from here? Odds are Disney will slap a cult favorite misunderstood by critics label on it, bundle it with a limited edition steelbook, and hope collectors redeem a fraction of that budget. Rachel will pivot to her next gig armed with a new talent: the art of negative PR judo. The dwarfs will remain missing in action, possibly replaced by a focus-grouped spin-off about magical creatures who unionize against toxic fans.
So Snow White slept and waited for her prince to come, but he never did. Because a woman shouldn't have to depend on a man. Snow White was brought back to life by a lady doctor. And she lived happily ever after? Well, she couldn't indulge in strenuous activities like handball, but otherwise, she was fine. That's nice.
Meanwhile, we, the Snark Brigade, will keep munching metaphorical popcorn and refreshing stock trackers for our daily dose of corporate pie and face. If you think Hollywood has finally learned that nostalgia abuse is a risky sport, ask yourself, when was the last time a giant studio left an old brand peacefully asleep? Exactly. The remakes will keep coming, and so will we, ready with buckets of sarcasm and full-throated cackles. So tell me in the comments, what classic do you think Disney will modernize next, and how catastrophically will they misjudge it? Drop your guess, and if you enjoy seeing billion-dollar empires trip over their own cynicism, make sure you stick around, because the next meltdown is probably already storyboarding itself, and our roast will be piping hot. Until then, stay cynical, stay curious, and remember, happily ever after is optional when the shareholders demand a sequel.